Wow. Whew. Hi, I'm Miltonchang with Bonsai Heirloom. About 3 weeks ago, you had voted on this maple tree, which style to turn it into. And one of the design I said is to cut off the other side to make a literary bonsai. And many of you said really the informal upright is the better design. But I'm curious about how you do a literary. So how about do number one, the literary, but I really prefer number three because I think that would be better tree. So I thank you very much for being thoughtful. But I also felt that given your interest, I should address your interest. So I took this tree from my growing pot to make it into a literary bonsai. And literally my heart pounds when I see this tree. It's going to be so beautiful 5 years out because with all of the curves and the flow and the movements. And I have to confess, I didn't pay much for the tree. I bought it about 9 months ago at an auction where the guy was selling it as a tree dug up that he wants to discard from his garden. And the tree was actually quite tall. And this side, you can see the trunk is much bigger than this. So this is the tall part. This was the one on the side. So I saw this curve and I fell in love with it. So I cut off this branch and you can see the side branches coming out. But the whole tree is growing so vigorously after I put it in my just garden soil. And you can see the buds are so strong coming out. As soon as I finish the tree in the springtime, the thing would just be full of leaves. And this tree is a red maple. So it's really not too appropriate for a red Japanese maple. It's really not too appropriate for a small bonsai because the leaves will be quite large, even if I have to reduce it. So I decided to do a bigger tree to sort of commiserate with the size of the leaf. So with that in mind, then I'll get to work. But again, begin with by combing out the roots to optimize the design of the roots for the design of the tree. As I said, this is a red maple, and I suspect the variety could very well be the Emperor One, I hope. If not, then it's the a very common one, which is Bloodgood. Bloodgood is darker in red and really does not have the bright fall color, whereas the Emperor One does. And I'm not sure which one this is, but I hope it's Emperor One because it's really a much better tree. It came only the last few years, but it's becoming very popular variety. So let me again begin with the roots first by combing out the roots so I can design with the roots in mind. And time to get rid of all the weeds so they don't pop out again. This tree was grown in a pot for landscaping, and it's really not well maintained as a bonsai, but you can see the roots are everywhere. There's no major roots emphasis. The other thing to note is that look at how much roots has grown. From this actually the bonsai pot, not the bonsai pot, the previous growing pot, but since then has grown so much in 6 months. Japanese maple is actually a very vigorous growing tree. So I'm just combing out to expose the top surface roots for the design of the bonsai. This is just my rough, random garden nursery pot planting mix comprised of any junk that I have come out of bonsai pots and so forth. And it doesn't really matter because there's so much soil in the pot that the roots would seek its own comfort zone. I don't know what the bottom is like, but seems like this tree is really growing from here, which is really amazing amount of roots that has grown from that. So I think I probably would like to utilize this big block of base to prop up the tree to a higher point. Look at the fibrous roots, just really healthy. But this is a big block of wood. It must be a very old tree when he cut it up somehow from the garden. Oh, this is going to be a magnificent tree. Look at that root ball. Look at the size of the trunk. It's just going to be beautiful. Oh, look at that. It's a big block of wood. So I really need to get to the bottom of it to see how far does the big part go. Yeah, I don't think it's going to go much beyond here. So I'm going to take a chainsaw, reciprocal saw, and cut it here and make this tree start from here. And this is the bonsai pot. Just look at this little piece of wood coming up would be part of the tree rather than starting here. So I think that's the beginning point of the tree, and I will cut the roots here. Wow. Whew. Yeah, see, this is the bottom. So this is good. So this is the wood, quite a bit of wood. And so this is where I would begin my bonsai. And there's plenty of fibrous roots to feed the tree. And then hopefully fibrous roots will grow from these as well. And so that make effective use of the soil in the bonsai pot. And I'll put this back in the growing pot and put the tree back again. And we'll revisit this tree March, April timeframe. And you will see how beautiful the red leaf will be. And again, the leaves are a little bit big, but it's perfect for the size of the tree, complementing the size of the tree. So now let's look at the tree to see how I want to orient the tree to maximize the appearance. So, for example, I think this would be a very good angle. So you see this side, the base, you can see that's a part of a big tree at one time. And then comes up and curls around, and then this comes back maybe a little bit towards this front. So, so that this will be towards the side rather than blocking the view. And then this one can be going out that way. I think that's what I'll do. So with that in mind then, I will now start cutting the tree, cutting away the tree. And it's really quite quickly. There's not many branches to do. But again, I emphasize the tremendous amount of growth that's going to be taking place. So for example, if I cut off here, this will be coming out nicely. You see, this go, and then if I cut off here, maybe likely something will come out here to go, for that matter, this will go to the side. And the same with here, if I go this, you can see how nice the curve that is I created. And then I cut here, so this one will come out, and then this one will grow up. So it's a nice curve. And then this one, I can leave that alone. And then this is out of the way. And this is a kind of a anti-flow. And so this I cut it here, so this will come out. And this I cut it here, so it will come out that way. And this one I think I'll cut off here, so it will come out this way. So that's this side. Now this side, I think, too bad there's no bud that's obvious here, but I hope something will bud out. But so let me, to play it safe, I cut off here. But I really want to emphasize the growth of this one. You can see there's a hidden bud right here. No, that's not true. That's just a dead branch. But, oh yeah, this will grow out here. So I'm just gonna cut this off so that this bud will come out to grow this way. And then this, I can just do this. And now, let me pull up these so I can see better. I think the one to pay attention to is this one. Given that I chose that as the front, although this would make a very nice curve up, so maybe I'll twist the front up a little bit this way, so I can make use of this curve. And I'm not going to cut this because I want this branch to thicken up. So this is the apex. This will become the apex. I cut it here. Then this will come out this way. But I want to keep this branch to grow, to promote the growth of that, thicken this, the top part here. I'm just trying to cut the branches to create a little bit more angular feature to look. And what happens is that this will come out and you clip again. After 3 or 4 times, it will really increase the branching to make really the tree looks old, and that's what you want. But in the meantime, you got to start someplace. And so like this branch, you can see how beautiful that is, but that's going that way. I'll leave it alone for now. And I'll cut this and that so that this will complement this curve. And then this one, I will cut it off here so that it can branching out there. And then this, I want to cut, I cut off this one so it will branch out there. And I will cut off here. So it will go out that way. That's pretty much it. 3 more minutes of clipping. I'm done with it until next March. And I don't like wiring because it makes it look artificial, where this is everything is natural, grow as defined by nature, and then I modify it to suit, rather than me defining the nature. Normally, I wouldn't have these 2 branches coming out both like that. But on the other hand, that's a little different, just in case the tree likes to grow that way. I can argue and see if it looks good when I'm done with it. If not, then I cut it off. I'm the master of this tree, whether the tree likes it or not. Well, this is going up too far, so I cut that off. Well, that is the tree. Now you look at this, the tremendous amount of movement. And you got this one going up like this one going like this one going like that. So somewhat complementary, this one going like that. So it may be okay. If not, I'll cut these 2 off and push this one down. Oh, look at that. Pushing it down a little bit makes it so much nicer. So I got plenty of time to modify it, but that is a tree. If I put it in a pot, it will look nice. The Literati style in Japanese, I believe the direct translation is kind of the gentleman design. And I can think of a poet in a nice long robe, and he's talking about things and reciting his poem. So it's a very artistic kind of a design tree and very informal. It can be anything works so long as it's pleasing. And so I felt this tree that I bought at an auction, actually on a sale, that the guy dug up from his garden. He didn't know what to do with it. There's a very big branch going up, and the tree is about this tall. He never saw this branch. At least I make this grew that way. But looking at this, I think I was going to make this the apex, but on second thought, let this thicken this trunk, but make this the apex. So tree is like coming up like this, going up, and then coming back again. So this is the final design of the tree. Of course, I just put the garden soil to put in this pot, but I will put it into my good planter mix for bonsai in my due time. And I will show you this tree again in March 2024 and show March, April to show how much new growth comes out. It'll be beautiful, beautiful, tender red, fiery red leaves. Again, the leaves is a little bit big. This is probably the Emperor One variety. The leaves are big. That's why I make into a bigger bonsai to complement the size of the leaf so that smaller bonsai need smaller leaves. So with that in mind then, I'm done with the tree. I'll show you around a little bit. I empty out the roots first, and I found this little piece that gives it a really nice feature, and that's my tree. So let me show you, rotate the tree, that it really actually looks good all around, and that's what a literary style should be, looking good all around. But you see, I didn't follow any rules, like trees are growing fairly random because that's the way it wants to grow. And if it looks good, looks natural, I will stick with it. If it's not, I will cut it back. There's plenty of time to change. You can see that's the complete tree. Okay, to show how I finished this tree after the videotaping, I took this tree and washed off the bottom as much as I can and wound up exposing this part, which I think is really beautiful. And then it's coming up. And I would eventually carve this out, depending what's alive, to make this kind of a branch coming out this way. And then this is the top. And I probably use this as the apex, not that. But I use this to fatten the branch. And I'll probably use this one apex coming up like this. So you see, it's a really nice literati tree, and this will probably come down like this. And as a last touch to, final touch to this tree, I spread my pulverized moss onto the top of this. You can see I actually put in a little bit more than usual, so you can see still moss around. And it's really amazing. The moss was brown in the magic bullet when I blended it. But as soon as I sprinkle on it, almost immediately it got a sheen of green. You can see these are the ones that will grow first quickly. But the sheen of green, the powder, will also grow up very quickly. Now that Northern California, we have raining season, this will turn into a lawn, beautiful, beautiful uniform lawn very quickly, without having to take pieces of moss to break it up. Just notice people criticize me or commented that I break my branches very roughly. I didn't break this one, but you can see this was broken very randomly, and this all create a feature of being very natural. So I wouldn't advocate chisel and all that in the early days, but see how it plays out. And in fact, this becomes a little lump. I didn't create it, we didn't create it, so nature creates it, which makes it natural. So I hope you enjoyed this video and you like it. Please click like. I need the encouragement and the brownie points to make me feel good to continue the energy to do this video. And Subscribe to our channel so we'll notify you of any new announcements. And visit our website to sign up for the giveaway trees. That will be the first 10 trees we ever ship out of Bonsai Heirloom in the third quarter of 2024. See you next week. Thank you very much for visiting.